So I want us to start thinking about care as a strategic tool and as a strategic choice. And so therefore there's a system and a process that we can apply to use that lens and put it over any organizational process that we see. When I think of an infrastructure of care, there's four that I can see. So in that ideal organization, and that's a choice, by the way. I don't think it's prescriptive, but it's about how do we as an organization decide to enact these dimensions of that infrastructure or not. So the first one is what I call relational infrastructure. And naturally, there's many ways of how we relate to each other. Essentially, how I think about it is how we connect. So, what are our ways of connecting? What are our rituals? What do we value? How do we incentivize it? How do we orchestrate? No pun intended. And design for the way that we connect. Okay, so there's one relational aspect to it. Another one is how we pace things, and I think of this as a temporal aspect. So, for example, what are the timelines that I expect someone to come back to me? What are my business rules around, how fast or slow we respond? How much leeway do we give if someone doesn't come back to us? What is the pacing essentially of the interactions that we expect and facilitate with our employees, with our customers, stakeholders, community members, etc. Then the third one is around boundaries. And that is how do we contain essentially our way of being with each other and in the world. And there's again a whole bunch of things underneath or within that dimension. And then the last one brings all of those together, which I think of as a integrative dimension, and that is how do we align? So how do we orchestrate, coordinate, align with one another, all these other dimensions? And so when you look at this together as a whole, or every organization might choose different aspects of this, there's not going to be a one size fits all. But I think what it has in common is that it's not reactive, but it's regenerative and it's strategic in the sense that this type of organization that chooses to engage in this way should be much more able to absorb stress, but without breaking.